Hello, Casey for interwebkaiju here, and welcome to Uneducated Reviews, where I watch a movie in its native language without an English sub or dub because there is none, and try to give you my thoughts on the movie. Today I'm going to be talking about Young Flying Hero. Young Flying Hero is a 1970 fantasy film from Taiwan that features sword fights, a wizard, a woman who shoots spiderwebs, and of course, some giant monsters. Real fast, I want to note that I only heard about this film due to a written review of it on the wonderful site tarstarkus.net. Also, I did find subtitles for the movie, but honestly, almost all the time they made it more confusing. So I'm putting this as an uneducated review because those subtitles were certainly not correct. From what I can make out, a golden egg is hatched and the owners of the golden egg are captured after a chase, and a wizard trains their young boy. There's also some sort of plotline involving a princess. Eventually, the boy goes to rescue, I guess, everyone with his new powers. Powers that include, as you may have guessed by the title, flying. He takes care of most of the baddies with ease, but a couple of the bad guys have powers as well, specifically this spiderweb lady. After he deals with them, two giant monsters show up who fight each other, and you kind of see our young flying hero flying around, and I guess the monsters are defeated. And our hero and the now turned mob face the baddie. Eventually, baddie and hero end up in a one-on-one sword fight. These are either perfect sets or they shot perfect pans out on location. Either way, extremely impressive. And the pans found at other times are just as good. Zooms are also usually very well done. I'm always a sucker for fog machines. We don't see makeshift battering rams nearly enough in cinema. Music and sound effects are okay in general, but really help the sword fight scenes. The scenes aren't bad on their own, sure, nothing too memorable in terms of choreography. There's no blood, and sometimes you can see the lack of contact, but the sound effects and music make sure the scenes are entertaining. A few brief times, the sound effects are too cartoony though. And yes, I say that even with fully accepting the young flying hero's getup. The monsters don't look great, but I do dig their glowing eyes. I wouldn't say they look terrible, but their fight is. It's a lot of just flailing around. Thankfully, it's shot and edited well, even if the suits and choreography are lacking. As you can see, the video quality isn't great, but of course it's better than nothing. It does make it hard to comment about lighting and coloration due to not knowing if the problems are from a bad tape or from the original. Regardless, it's almost all visually unattractive and dull. The sword fights tread on similar ground. The camera is always too zoomed in. There's many times where the sword contact is off screen. I'm assuming this is because the movie is supposed to be in widescreen, and instead of actually going through and picking the best sections to pan, scan, or crop, they just took the 4:3 and cut everything off for the VHS release, or more probable, a TV airing. I wish the subtitles I found made sense. There's some type of story that ties the scenes together, and even if it's not great, it would have been better than not knowing what was happening. I think that's what made the first half of the movie quite boring for me, but once the hero comes to rescue everyone, I actually enjoyed it. I'd recommend Young Flying Hero for at least one viewing if you're in the mood for some cheesy sword fights and a brief, equally cheesy monster fight. Thanks for watching.